All right, guys. So I built this years ago. I was trying to come up with a way to have an air blast on the CNC table. You can see the table's right here. I don't know why I thought that if I kind of like pulse the air on and off, I would, number one, save air, and I thought it would be like a more abrupt blast and then off for a second, let the chips build up a little bit, then kind of blast them again and get the chips to fly out. This is what I came up with on the CNC itself. I have these two tubes here, and I ended up coming in with a little bit of a water line and an air line. And it's worked fairly well over the years, but I did notice that because the air blast was on and off, and I'm going to show you how I did that in a minute, I would actually get a little bit of a mark in my cuts when the blast went on and off. So I don't know if it was actually, some sort of a surge. I didn't have anything electrical going on and off. As you guys could see, I basically just have this windshield wiper motor here. I came up with this linkage with a spring and a lever. It's just kind of clamped on to the motor, and then it turns, the lever is the handle for a ball valve. I put a check valve in line, and then I just put a fitting here for my air line, and then this guy runs to my coolant tank. And I put some sort of a mist coolant type of thing. I forget the name of it. I put it in here. You literally buy this stuff, very concentrated, guys. It comes like in a 1 gallon container, and you mix it with water. You barely put any, it lasts like a year for the amount that I use it. It's a total loss system. It's just a spray in, but it works great. I put another little check valve here in my air line going up. And then, like I said before, I have the water line here. And I can regulate it with this little valve, how much of the mist, of the coolant and the cutting lubricant that I use. But basically, I just built this little power supply here. Just turn it on, and then have a little potentiometer. So you could see, like if I stop it there, roughly there, the ball valve is closed. And then what I could do is, regulate how I want the blast on and off. So I could put it nice and slow like that, on, off, or if I speed it up, that's full. And I kind of made the end here elongated so that, it's not getting full throw on the ball valve. But you can adjust it however you want. But from what I remember, I think that was about getting full flow. Because it is a ball valve, so it's not really a regulating valve by any means. But anyway, that's basically it. Just quick plumbing here, like I said before, check valves, some T's, some fittings, etc. And it worked pretty good. But what I found I ended up doing, I got a bigger air compressor, and I basically would just kind of get it out to where I wanted, and then shut it off, or mess with it, turn it, and shut it off right there. Shut the switch off, and just leave the air on full. So what I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be pulling this out, and I'm just going to run a solenoid valve on the air line, and then I'm going to end up hooking it up to the new Masso controller that I have. So with that being said, these two videos are going to kind of merge together. I'm going to be repurposing the power supply. I showed you guys a video of the homemade spool gun that I'm building, and that has a mini windshield wiper motor, also a little 12-volt motor. So I'm going to use this as my control for the wire speed on it. So what I'll do is I'll pull this off. This is just 120 plug I had here. And then the wiring, this is the DC wiring, low voltage going to the motor. I'll probably just cut those wires, pull this off, unbolt it and everything like that. And then, like I said before, I got a bigger air compressor. I'm just going to a full-time air blast, and it's going to be just fully on or fully off with an electric solenoid valve. And then this guy, I'll open it up when I get over onto the bench, and I'll show you guys how I made it. All right, guys, so basically, like I was saying before, I just put a toggle switch with a potentiometer here. You know, nothing fancy. Boy, would I like to find the guy that built this thing. Oh, wait a minute, that was me 5 years ago. So basically, I just showed you guys my nice potentiometer knob I had here. Well, apparently, whatever board I used here for, you know, to make the DC voltage variable, I used this power supply. Looks like it might have been like a, you know, charger for something. It's probably 12 volts, but I had no way to regulate it. So I got this board somewhere, and it had a potentiometer built into it. And you could see it was part of it right here, like that. And it went up through the top case. Obviously, I had no clue how I built this thing years ago. So I should have taken off the set screws for the knob first, then pulled the cover off, leaving this intact. Instead, I pulled the one screw here, ripped the cover off, and the potentiometer came with it. So I'm going to see if I can find another one, and then probably just solder 3 wires right onto the pins there. See if I can get this thing back up and running. All right, guys, I got my 3 connections soldered on the board here. And then now I got these pulled, you know, the sheathing pulled off, stripped, I should say. Been using this little bit of flux. These wires are nice and clean, so I don't have to do much on that end. Probably just gonna kind of stick them through as best I can. Probably stick them through, bend them over, and then solder them. I'm not gonna tin them ahead of time because I want to get the bend going through the holes. So nothing fancy here, guys. Just got my 3 connections soldered on the potentiometer, 3 connections soldered on the board. My power plugged in. Flip power on, and then come over to the potentiometer. Hopefully I can do this one-handed. There we go. So basically that's gonna regulate my wire speed. You know, just like a normal MIG welder, guys. I kinda, you know, I'm fighting myself right now. Obviously I did it with short wires for now. I'm gonna put it back in the box through that hole where I had it originally. But I'm kind of thinking it might be cool to have the potentiometer mounted right on the gun itself, and then run the wires, you know, down through the handle like I had planned to begin with. I mean, obviously I'm gonna have these 2 wires run, and gonna have them in series through this on and off switch. So basically I'll have to get it all set up, you know, have my potentiometer where I want, but nothing's gonna happen until I press this switch for the MIG to start. So this will control the feed, and then, you know, once it touches the metal, it'll start welding, obviously. Only thing I don't love, and obviously I pulled this out of, you know, my junk pile, guys. That's full speed right there. I doubt I'll ever be using that. You know, on a normal MIG, you're somewhere like around here or whatever. It's not really that fine of adjustment. Like, I have all this play on this side that it's off, but then, you know, I gotta turn it like, it's almost, let me see, it's almost a half turn before I start to move. But, you know, it's good enough for now, and see how it goes from here. I'm gonna call that a video for now, guys. I'm gonna work on getting this handle off. I wanna get a thinner tube here, and I'm gonna put like a motorcycle grip or something on it so it's insulated from the metal. I'm gonna work on the spool. I'll show you guys what I did for that. I got this made up, just a threaded rod with a copper bushing and a spring. And for now, I just have 2 double jam nuts. I'm either gonna weld this to this bracket, or I started making up this piece of aluminum here. You know, I might drill a couple holes, cut this somewhere over here, drill like 2 holes, and you know, catch that 1 hole and maybe another hole here or something like that. But we're moving right along. Hopefully I'll have a video of this thing welding pretty soon.